The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another awesome day here at RM Hive, and you're tuning in to Reader's Magnet featured author interview. I'm your host, Revan, and our guest today brings a lifetime of work in human care and community support into a thoughtful exploration of faith and scripture. Now retired and living just outside Boston, he draws on decades of experience working with children, elders, and adults with physical disabilities to reflect on meaning, responsibility, and belief. Please welcome the author of In the Beginning, A Consideration of Genesis, Stephen D. Sears. Hi, Steve. How are you? Thank you for
Hello.
joining us here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And by the way, Reader's Magnet had just the Festival of Storytellers Chapter 7. So I believe you were part of it. How was your experience so far?
Well, it's always fun to talk about the book. It was fun seeing some of the other authors as well.
Yes. And right now, we're actually going to talk about your book. So it's called In the Beginning, A Consideration of Genesis. So to begin, for those who haven't read it yet, how would you describe your book, In the Beginning, A Consideration of Genesis? And what inspired you to take such a deep and personal look at the book of Genesis?
Excellent question. Well, for starters, I never in my wildest dreams ever thought I'd be thinking about, never mind writing a book.
Mhm.
So what I do is I like to read. I go to church, but I'm not a member of any church.
Mhm.
So I like reading the Bible. I like jumping around. And at some point, I decided, let's start at the beginning. Let's read Genesis. And
Mhm.
I felt like this is returning to an old friend. I know all these stories. I've been hearing about them since Sunday school.
Yeah.
But as I started reading, there was all these stories that I didn't even know were there. The stories I
Mhm.
knew had all these details that I didn't remember seeing. There was a lot of detail, and there was just all so much more there than I ever thought. And
Mhm.
as I read it, I kept saying, I got to tell people about this. People need to know that there's all these things that you
True.
don't normally hear about in church. But I went on. I thought about it, but I never did anything about it. So I had started reading other things for years and years. I was moving on, but I never let go of Genesis. It kept holding me.
Mhm.
So I used to think about it late at night. And so in May of 2021, yet again, I'm trying to get to sleep. And no, I'm thinking about, oh, what about this? What about that? Oh, gee, here's an observation I hadn't even
Mhm.
thought about. This had happened many times. So I got up the next morning. I thought, okay, that's it. I'm going to sit down and write something about all of this. So this was May, June of 2021. Um,
Mhm.
I by the time I got to November of 2021, I had written a 22 chapter,
Mhm.
two-part book that covered everything because that's part of what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about everything, little stories, little details. I wanted to talk about all the stupid ages, all these people living these
Mhm.
long ages. I thought, it's probably not true, but for the purpose of my book, let's assume it's true. I made these timelines
True.
to show how far people lived into the next generations. It's really interesting.
Mhm.
Made
Yeah.
so I wanted to look at it without any lens of religion. Just let's look
Mhm.
at the story as is. My guiding idea was Genesis starts at the cusp of history and prehistory, and it looks at this primeval relationship between humans and this one true God of all creation. There's no religion involved. They're just trying to find this relationship. You follow this one family. Some lines hold on to it, some lose it, and
Mhm.
so you watch through all these generations how it goes back and forth. It's so bad to begin with that God blows it up and creates. Whoops, sorry about that.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
God blows it up and sends a deluge. It falls apart again, and by the time you get to Abraham, his father is an idolater, so they've already
Mhm.
lost God. So it's a great story. There's great individual stories. There's so many characters. They're all bent. They're all human. They make
Mm-hmm.
funny change on a funny make a lot of head scratching choices. But even some of the ones that are the worst characters, like Jacob, hold on to uh, this basic relationship with God. Never let it go. Um, when you get to the end, they still have it. They're
Mm-hmm.
in Egypt. Joseph has died. So I want to write about all this, including
Mm-hmm.
genealogies. I love looking at genealogies. It's like walking through a cemetery. You can
Uh-huh.
see, oh well, this guy. Look at this guy. He must be related.
Yeah.
Um, I used um, I used some other sources. I used
Mm-hmm.
Jewish midrash, which follows the Bible like chapter by chapter. Josephus' Antiquities was written for his Roman audience to let his audience know about the history of the Jews. He also looks at Genesis chapter by chapter, so you can follow both of
Mm-hmm.
them. I used some biblical archaeology and also used some bits of the Quran to
Mm-hmm.
flesh out the story. Would have a lot of these would have extra details about things.
Mm-hmm. I really love how you actually get to have the inspiration and it comes back to you again and again so you can actually remember details. And I love how you also not you're not also the one that's inspired, which you actually share this inspiration to others through sharing the words out there and with your imagination as well. And it's becoming a great story to tell. And I love
It
that
is.
about you. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
great story. It's a great story.
True. So, throughout your work, you highlight both the well known stories and many of the smaller
Great.
moments and
Yes.
characters in Genesis. So, what drew you to explore these often overlooked parts of the text? And did any surprise you along the way?
Well, a lot of it was because some of them I just didn't know they were there. So
Mm-hmm.
like, oh wow. Well, for instance, you're reading along, you meet Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
He moves to Canaan when you first meet him. Oh my God, there's a famine, so he moves to Egypt. He runs afoul of Pharaoh. They throw him out.
Mm-hmm.
So now he goes back to Hebron with Lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of a sudden, Lot gets taken captive by a bunch of kings from the north because they go down and have a war. So as they're taking back Lot, he's now a prisoner from these people. They're bringing him back up to Mesopotamia. Well, on the way, one of the people that lives with Lot sneaks out and goes and tells Abraham about it. Abraham puts together a group of people and they go and search to rescue him. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, I didn't even know I was in there. There was a lot of stories like that.
Yes. So many things to discover in that book as well.
Yes. And again, a lot of these stories show the greatness of Abraham. Abraham is successful. He rescues Lot. He brings
Mm-hmm.
back Lot, all these people, a lot of the stuff that these guys from the north stole from all the people where Lot was living, which was Sodom and Gomorrah. So the kings at Sodom and Gomorrah come and say, thanks for doing that. You know, we're in your debt. And Abraham says, no, I'm not taking anything. I'm only taking the people I was looking for and enough things to pay back some of my friends that came with me. I want nothing else from you. I'm not going to stand over you, which is what usually happened when people won wars. So again, it
Mm-hmm.
showed the greatness of Abraham because he's living as an alien, but he's not a danger to anybody. He's not. He doesn't
True.
have any position. He, most of Genesis, he doesn't own any property. He only
Mm-hmm.
owns property when he goes to bury Sarah when she dies. So he buys a field. That's the only property he owns.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stories like that in Genesis, and they're
True.
really interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, so you discuss the challenges and imperfections of the people in Genesis. Families in conflict,
Yep.
difficult choices, and human flaws. How do these stories of ordinary, imperfect people speak to the realities of our lives today?
Well, it's like reading something from today. It's that's
Mm-hmm.
they're so contemporary. It's like so
Mm-hmm.
long ago. Yeah, but they could have been, you could have written this from people living today. And that's what I really was kind of wonderful about it. It gives you hope because usually when you think about reading the Bible, you're thinking about you're going to read all these holy people and all these things you're supposed to do. And
Mm-hmm.
when you read Genesis, they're not doing those things and they're not living holy lives. They're making all kinds of crazy decisions.
Oh, yes.
And yet, God finds a way to use them. Jacob, who I find one of the most deplorable people in the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't get along with anybody. He doesn't get along with his family. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't get along with his neighbors. And yet he holds on to this great faith with God, and God backs him up.
Mm-hmm.
God backs him up.
True. That's also what I love about the people in the Holy Book, because a lot of them are actually very imperfect people, but still,
Yes.
God still helped them because, and they're not alone. Which also gives a message to all our viewers out there that we are never alone. Even if we are imperfect, we have all of these challenges in life, personal challenges and hindrances as well. If it's for us, then we can actually move on to that direction as well. So
And
I
no
love.
book in the Bible has more women than Genesis. And guess what? The
Mhm.
women are just as bad as the men.
True.
Yep.
So, yes. So, what I love about your book is that it invites readers to, journey together with
Yes.
you through
Yep.
Genesis rather than simply study it academically. What
Yes.
makes this journey approach important to you, and how does it change the way people experience the text?
Well, as I say in the preface, if the book is my idea, what I see going on, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no way I was going to write a book that said I. So in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, I tell people, look, if that was the case, I couldn't write the book. So I'm writing it as we, but we is me and
Yes.
you, the reader. We're going on this journey of discovery. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
we are together going to go through Genesis and find all these things and talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time I said we. There's a few times when there's these stories that nobody's heard about, I go into I.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the sacrifice of Jacob, I don't expect the readers to necessarily agree with me because I don't
Mm-hmm.
accept it. I've never accepted it. I think basically Abraham misunderstood God because I can't understand. I can't believe God would ask you
Mm-hmm.
to kill a son. God, the agent
True.
of creation. It just doesn't make sense. So I argue that there was no sacrifice. God, there's no way God would ask somebody to do that. Abraham made a mistake. And I argue in the book that not only am I appalled about it, but I argue that Sarah, his wife, never lives with him after that. And there's
Mm-hmm.
pieces in Genesis that sort of suggest that.
Mm-hmm. So I really love how you put it like that. So if, for example, if I'm a reader, I actually get to experience what's in it.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
like I'm there. So I
yes.
love how you put it like that.
And I write it like an adventure story because that's kind of what it is.
True. True, true. It's like I'm seeing everything as well.
So
So
almost every chapter, I'll say, here's where we are. What's going to happen next? And then the beginning of
yes.
the next chapter is like, when we were last, we're here. Here's where we stood. What's going to happen? And then we go into, well,
Yes.
here's what happened next.
Yes. And it's actually going to let other readers understand it more
Yeah.
because they are there. Love that. So, Steve, finally, looking ahead, what do you hope readers take away from your book once they've finished it? Is there a particular insight, feeling, or challenge you'd like to leave with them?
What I wanted to look at, I wanted people to look at all the things in Genesis without the crutch
Mm-hmm.
of religion, because you can get a
Mm-hmm.
lot out of it. And what you get out is that
Mm-hmm.
um, faith has always been difficult, so we struggle
Mm-hmm.
with it, and that's you see
True.
that all the way through the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to be perfect to have a good relationship with God,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a great story. It's a great story, and there's so
It
much
is.
happening in it. Oh, geez. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Live interviews, it happened.
That's right. No kidding.
Yeah, no kidding here. So yes, I love how you actually wrote the book, and I'm excited about that. So right now, Steve, I'll give the spotlight to you. Tell our viewers where we can find your book, and if you have future projects. The floor is yours.
Okay, thanks. So you can find my book on yes, you have a picture of my book. You can find my book
Yes.
on
Right here.
Amazon, on Barnes and Noble. I believe it's on Apple. You can get it
Mhm,
through my publisher, Zulon,
mhm,
XULON. It's a Christian
mhm,
self-publishing group. I also have a website, authorstephendsears.com.
mhm.
So that's pretty much where you can find it.
Yes. So, Steve, it has been an awesome time with you. Once again, everyone, Stephen D. Sears. So, get your copy of In the Beginning, A Consideration of Genesis, available on Amazon, in Barnes and Noble, and also on his website. That's
Correct.
authorstephendsears.com. So,
Yes.
guys, let's open the pages and unravel the secrets of your personal odyssey. And I believe that your ink never runs dry. So, go tell your story, you storyteller. This is your host, Revan, with our guest here, Stephen D. Sears. And as we always say it here at Readers Magnet, we share your story with the world. Bye for now. Stay awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.